basically I was born into the industry. Old man's a builder, so been on site since I could walk.
Yeah.
Free labour. We all knew from day dot that our biggest thing was our quality and the site cleanliness. So you have to want it, because if you only sort of kind of want to be a tradesman, it's going to be a long, hard path. So you have to want it,
Yeah.
Now we want to service builders in all aspects of construction, whether that's framing or cladding or decks, or they want to, like we did the demo on this one.
Yeah.
Anything construction, like that's sort of the way we're heading.
Today we're here with Sammy, the founder of Lawless Construction. Sammy, how are you?
Good, bro. You?
Good. You might remember Sammy from episode 9 of our first series. It was one of the popular ones. He was able to open up a lot about his journey and his history with Lawless Construction, facing close to business closure and, being able to grow to where you are today.
Yep.
Sammy, today I want to highlight your business, the work that you do. That's the main thing behind this. I know we spoke quite in-depthly about the experience that you had.
Yep.
But I think, the work that you do, we're in one of your job sites as well. So Sammy, tell us a little bit about your industry, why you got in it and there.
Yeah. So basically I was born into the industry. Old man's a builder, so been on site since I could walk.
Yeah.
Free labour. And naturally I liked it. Like building things, like building go-karts at home, cubby houses, all that sort of thing. So I just naturally fell into it.
Yeah.
That's what I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this on the podcast, but me, Sammy, Sammy's brothers and stuff, we all grew up together. So I was in a couple of those go-karts when we found out that they didn't work too well.
You were the test dummy.
I was the test dummy. So yeah, you kind of naturally just like fell into it, and then it became, your trade. And then the line that you went down.
Yeah.
From when you started the business, how long have you been in the business for now?
This is our 8th year.
Eighth year.
Yeah.
And when you started, how did you kind of go? Like, I know that you had your friend and your brother and stuff involved. Tell us a little bit about where it started to and where it is now.
So basically it was me, George, and Mac, basically just subbing out to builders wherever we could find work. I think I mentioned our first job was in Geelong West.
Yep.
So we took whatever we could, which was fun, man. Like, we were young, drive down. Well, I found it fun. I don't know if they did. Then I put an ad up on Gumtree, and is that even still around? I don't know.
Gumtree,
I don't think so.
Last time I searched it.
Maybe for puppies or something. But and then we got a couple of builds through that, and then it was just word of mouth. It started growing, and as we got more work, we put on more boys, and just here we are today.
And you've grown to, how big's your team now?
I think we're sitting around 30.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, we won't dive too much into, what you face, because I know we spoke about it on the other podcast, and if people want to listen to, that, they can go back and listen to that when you were on the brink of, nearly having to shut up shop.
Yep.
But when it comes to, I guess, your craft, right?
Yeah.
The quality, all that, what does it mean to you to produce that kind of quality? Yeah,
I think, everything, man. Like, your reputation is everything. Like, if you do bad work for someone, or I don't want to say fuck someone over, but if you do, you can edit that out.
It's alright, it's not a G rated.
Then you're gonna get found out sooner or later. So, it's everything.
It's everything. And then how have you kind of been able to maintain this? Because I guess, we're hoping that a lot of carpenters maybe starting their business already in it are going to listen to this. So, I think these tips and tricks are going to help them through it as well. But like, how do you, sustain that? I know when you're not always on the tools, or there's multiple jobs going on, how do you keep that quality?
I guess for us, we've sort of grown. So every crew leader that we have now, there's 4 of them. They've all started. We were all in one crew at one stage. So we all knew from day dot that our biggest thing was our quality and the site cleanliness. So as soon as the boys went off, Mac went off, he had his own crew. The number one thing for him was always, the job is always finished to our standard, and it's always clean. There was no ifs. There was jobs when we shouldn't have, the money didn't equal the service we were giving, especially in the volume days. But our name was built off that. So that was one thing that we never let slip, no matter what.
Yeah. Because like even just walking onto this side and where we're sitting and stuff, like it is quite a clean
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And I remember, my 2-year stint of construction, it was pretty cooked.
Yeah. It's easy to get messy, man. There's just, you're always cutting, throwing.
Yeah, there's always something,
Yeah.
which is good. It's obviously something that, you pride yourself on and you've been able to sustain throughout the journey. Now, quite naturally, mistakes are going to happen on site. There's going to be things that, day to day or week to week, whenever they happen.
Yeah.
How do you kind of manage that or maneuver and pivot when things like that happen?
That's a good question. I guess the biggest thing to think is just it's not the end of the world. Nothing's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Have your little, I like to say, have your little 30 seconds of stressing out or sulking, and then, figure out a solution and move forward. And I say that to the boys on site too. If they stuff up, like, have your little, moment to yourself, I guess. And then once you've had that, move on from it.
Yeah.
Sulking about it or thinking about it, dwelling on it, it's not going to change it. It's not going to fix it. So just think of a solution and keep pushing.
Yeah. And, you've been running the business for 8 years, but you've got more experience before that.
Yeah.
Few boys, obviously, like the way that trades work, I guess you're fully qualified, you've got your apprentices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What can you think or advise to people that are kind of in their first years, trying to grow into that experienced person?
Yeah. I'd say you have to you have to grind. Like, that's the truth. It's a hard way to make money, especially when you're an apprentice. Like, I understand everything's expensive now. Sometimes the apprentices look at other people, a traffic control person or someone working at Coles, and like, the hours, like what they're getting paid per hour is more. And I get that, it is frustrating, but you have to look at the bigger picture, and I guess you have to want it, because if you only sort of kind of want to be a tradesman, it's going to be a long, hard path. So you have to want it,
Yeah. Now, in that case, like, what kind of separates someone? So let's just say you've got someone in their second or third year, and are fully qualified, and they've both got the hard work and the ethic.
Yep.
But then what kind of separates the quality? Like, what do you see, or what do you look at?
Yeah, it's like the worker. How would I?
Their skills and stuff.
The skills is the thing. To be fair, the skills is sort of the thing that is like the last thing we look for.
Yeah.
The showing up on time. Wanting to go buy tools and develop your skills through buying more tools and stuff like that. So I guess the skills come with repetition. So, the boys that want to work the Saturdays every time, the boys that are happy to do the overtime, not there looking at their phone at 3:59, waiting to finish. They're normally the boys that I see that develop eventually over their career to be better. So like the little things,
Yeah, amazing. And you've obviously, built the team and you've grown through them. And do you feel like there is quite a natural progression with the ones that start with you from, for all 4 years, progressing into that leadership role?
Yeah, definitely. I think that most boys will say that they want to stay on, they'd want to run a crew. Things change and sometimes people go other ways, but like everyone that's we've had on that's been from apprentice to qualified has stayed on for at least a year or two before leaving. And there's only been a couple of them, but most of the boys, that's what they're looking for, which is what we want. We don't want to train them up their 4 years and then kick them out the door. That's the opposite of what we want to do.
Of course. And then let's just say they get to the point where they're fully qualified and whatnot, what are kind of the jobs that they might be able to see themselves doing? Like, I know we're in a renovation right now.
Yep.
A lot of like stick build. I don't know if I'm just saying words because I feel like I make me sound smarter.
Is there a hammer?
Yeah.
Honestly, like I say, we did lots of framing. I think that's where we made our name. But now we want to service builders in all aspects of construction, whether that's framing or cladding or decks, or they want to, like we did the demo on this one.
Yeah.
Anything construction, like that's sort of the way we're heading. We want to be able to service builders as widely as possible, I guess. Yeah.
So you've been in the business for 8 years now. Have you noticed, like, there was probably a phase where you were like, how do I get out of being on the tools? Because I know there was a time you were on the tools, you were doing the jobs, you were pricing, you were doing, like, probably weren't sleeping much.
Nah.
How would you, that transition into, Are you still on the tools a lot? Is it reduced? Are you more
It's
jumping site to site?
not often. Like last week, I was on the tools for like I said, I pulled up like I got bashed. Like I thought, honestly, woke up on Sunday like someone belted me, but nah, not often. It's if I have to fill in gaps or last week we had a few boys off sick and injured, but I try not to be because the wheels stop turning in a way when the work behind the scenes stops getting done. Yeah.
So then, someone who's in the position where they've got a little crew or whatever, how do they get into that position? How do they traject to there?
The first thing I would say is you have to find someone that you can trust on site. There's heaps of good chippies out there, like heaps, but not all of them want to take on leadership roles, take on dealing with the builder on site, issues on site, boys making mistakes on site. It's more than just being a good chippy. You need someone that can basically feel what you were doing, and you have to trust that they care about the business, which I've been blessed to have both my brothers, Mac, who's my best mate, and Tyler, who's been with me since he was really young. So yeah, it's just finding someone you can trust, and then allowing yourself to take that step. You have to just jump in, man. You have to trust them. They're going to make mistakes. Everyone is. It's all part of it. Yeah.
And then I guess patience would come with it too. A bit of patience.
Yeah, lots of patience.
Lots of patience.
Lots of patience. Yeah, lots of patience.
Is it
that's a hard skill? Yeah.
Yeah, they're just quite naturally like understanding. That first person. Like it's your business at the end of the day, and like you said, you're fortunate enough to have the people you do have, but other people don't have those people on their team. So, is it important just to sometimes just see someone through and have patience with them?
Yeah, I think you can't just be like, put someone in an apprenticeship and be like, all right, sweet, man, in 4 years when you're qualified, I'm jumping off the tools. You have to spend time nurturing them, teaching them, going to site when they are freshly running jobs and, going through stuff with them, having your phone on you. You can't just, give them a job, kick back, I'm going to go have a coffee. Nah, you have to spend time developing them. Otherwise, it just won't work.
I think quite naturally, like, I don't know if I'm just using my own trauma in the construction industry as an excuse, but you kind of just get thrown in the deep end, and if you can float, you float.
Yeah,
if you don't, you don't. But sounds like you give a little bit more. You give them at least a lifeline.
Yeah,
or like a raft to kind of help them as well.
I try to. I try to, and I try and say, I know that the first couple of jobs there's going to be mistakes. Like there's going to be timelines that aren't met. I know that the profitability on those jobs probably won't be as good as it would if Mac or George or someone else is running the job that's been doing it for a few years now. So I think you have to accept the fact that you're going to take those hits a little bit as you grow, which I think was something that people don't really want to do. Yeah.
Well, it's an investment at the end of the day because they will eventually get to that point where they are the George and Max and helping that profitability increase. Sure. What's when the side of the things running your own trade business, what are some of the things that clients might not necessarily see happening in the background? They might see the frames.
It's all smooth on site. Probably for us, a lot of things move around before we get to site. So if we schedule a job in 8 weeks, it's hard. If we're there within a couple of days, give or take, I think that's pretty good because, we can't determine the weather, deliveries, the concrete, like everything like that. I know that's all trades, not just chippies. I think hitting dates is something that's probably overlooked and just expected to hit that date. Yeah.
And is that a way that you'd probably find you build trust with the builders and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I've still got a lot of work to do on that, on communicating that and hitting schedules and being as efficient as possible. But yeah, I think it's definitely a massive thing. Yeah.
What would you say kind of separates tradies who kind of thrive compared to like struggle a little bit? Especially running their own business.
Yeah, I think it's the ability to handle the pressure, I think, because there's a lot of pressure with finding work, finding good boys, being profitable. So someone that's able to spread that load out between good people and grow like that, I think will make you thrive. It's a lot of answers, I guess.
Yeah. And then, as you're pushing from that, I guess, again, apprentices can look into that too and seeing, all right, what do you think are like non-negotiables that you need to see from an apprentice for you to be like, all right, you can run one of my jobs?
Yeah, I think like first and foremost would be being early to work.
Yeah.
I think the bloke that's rocking up at 6:58 and the bloke that's there at 6:30, 6:40. I'm not saying you have to be, nail bag on, shooting up walls or whatever, but if you're there having your coffee, out of your car, ready to go, instead of, rolling out of your car at 6:58, 6:59
Yeah.
with your slippers on, like that's just a world of difference for a boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're seeing they naturally want to be there.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
show you
yeah,
that they want to
yeah. It's
work hard.
It's hard, man. There's days like when it's cold, especially in Melbourne, cold, rain, wind. Like I get it. I did my apprenticeship. My boss was hard. It's not easy. I get that. But if you treat work like it's a chore and like you don't want to be there, it's obvious to employers.
Yeah.
And like you naturally want to put your time into someone that looks like they want to be there.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge.
A big part.
Yeah.
Now you said like obviously the long days. There's a lot of stuff on the body physically.
Yep.
Now, what are some things that you might have done, or you might continue to do to, continue to be physical
Yeah.
in the job space, or that you would advise to
Yeah.
your employees and whatnot?
I think something that I probably haven't done and I've only just started to do recently. I haven't really looked after my body too well, but I think what you eat, it's my whole apprenticeship. It was like I just followed, the qualifieds I was working with. You get your KFC, you get your Subway,
Yeah.
and then you get the snacks on the way home, and because it's comfort food too when it's cold.
Yeah.
I think that going to the physio, chiro, stretching, going to the gym. It doesn't have to be. There you go. There's a plug for you.
Come down, tradies. Yeah. Take care of ya.
Just looking after your body, treating, my old man says, he's into his health and fitness a lot, and he says, we should be treating ourselves like professional athletes. Like our bodies are what makes us money, and I think that's one thing that's massively overlooked in our industry is the health for your body. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and someone said it to me, it was actually like a specialist, and he's just like, cash is king right now. Like, you need to do whatever you're like, you need to make sure your body is the thing that's making you money.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
especially at like the ages and stuff we're at too, and especially with your physically demanding industry.
Yep.
The, as you kind of grow the team, a lot of that health and fitness is obviously a big part.
Yep.
And it's like I'm giving you a PT consult right now, but it's good to hear that you're kind of across it all.
Yeah, I think I got a lot to learn, man. But that's where you come in.
I'll take care of you. Now we're going to talk a little bit about similar things that you face. So you obviously had a really tough time. We've spoken about it already.
Yep.
So what are some like red flags you can kind of see, or you can advise tradies to look at when pricing a job, or how can you advise them to look a bit deeper so that they know reduce the risk of losing the jobs or losing money?
Yep. I think the first one that stands out for me is when a builder or a client puts emphasis on that the job's easy. Oh, it's easy, it's quick. It shouldn't take long. They're the sorts of like trigger words, I guess you could say. That this person's doesn't value the job, probably doesn't value you, and whatever you send is gonna be expensive. That's that's the first thing I look for now. And then after that, it's if they're not willing to, I guess, meet your payment terms, or at least if they're 30 days and you're 7 days, at least meet in the middle at 14 or something.
Yeah.
If that's not a discussion, that'd probably be a red flag for me. That's probably two, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. It's obviously big, and you've also said in the past, one of the most important people have on the team is your accountant.
Yeah.
And going through that. But again, you can go listen to Sammy's episode about where we speak about, what do you have to go through to face it. Ask you a few more questions about your job and carpentry and whatnot. I know there's a few cool designs I've been seeing on Instagram of some jobs you're doing, some curved walls and whatnot.
Plenty of curves.
Yeah. So what I guess what's something that might seem somewhat overrated, and then something underrated that you might.
Jeez, I'm gonna hurt some feelings here. That's a good question. You know what? It's probably the same thing. I think curves can be massively overrated.
Yeah.
And people think it's high end because there's a couple curved walls. So I think picking and choosing and not oversaturating a house with curves. But then in the other hand, I think curves are awesome. Like if you use them in the right, like some of the stuff we do with one of our builders, Summer Bay, and their interior designers, like you're just like, wow, how did you think of that? You know, the way to check out a section so that the light shines at the right time of night, that sort of thing is really cool. Yeah.
Cool.
So I think it's both.
So it's it can be the same option,
Yep.
but how you do it
How you use it
determines whether it's overrated or underrated.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's some advice you would give to someone in your position or someone who's trying to get into your position, tradie in general,
Yep.
on, you know, the industry and what it kind of looks like?
I'd say hang on. It's going to be a bumpy ride if you actually want to do it.
Yeah.
And then, do you actually want to do it? Do you like the sound of, I'm the director or I'm the boss? Because it's not that fun.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been that fun, and there's been lots of shit times and hard times. But if the answer is I want to be there for the journey, I think just surround yourself with good people, a good team, supporting family, and you'll be sweet, man. There's like on the other hand, there's heaps of positives that have come out. I've met some awesome people, done some sick jobs, and had a lot of fun. So, yeah.
And I guess, with you and your business, what does success kind of look like for you beyond the money side?
Oh, it's pretty easy, this answer. It would just be being able to spend more time with my family. Having the freedom to pick up Jet from daycare and kinder. That's been probably the biggest thing. Through the hard times, I look at that as a blessing for the good times. Having that flexibility to pick him up, go on holidays and stuff like that with everyone, with my brothers, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Got a couple little one-worder or a couple quick answers that you can do before we finish off. Now, you can just whatever comes to mind. It's not going to be like the 10 questions like another one. Would you prefer framing or finishing?
Younger me would say I think framing just still, but I do love finishing. Yeah.
Do you prefer like those early site mornings or working in the background?
Oh, early site mornings. Yeah.
What would you say the most underrated carpentry skill would be?
Probably being able to work in with all the trades and understanding a bit of every trade so you can do your job.
Nice.
Yeah. If you're a chippy, you understand you have to know what brick scale to and everything like that. Yeah.
Biggest on-site pet peeve?
When someone's having a drink or something to eat and they throw it on the ground right where they are instead of walking it to the bin. That gets me going. Meet me at the back, boys.
What's one non-negotiable in your business?
Honesty and cleanliness. So clean sites, clean uniforms. Yeah.
Someone wants to build like a long-term trade brand.
Yep.
What would you say to them?
Just be honest. Your reputation's everything. Turn up when you say you're going to turn up as much as you can, and if you can't, make sure you let the person know, and do your best.
All right, Sammy, I've seen on Instagram there's little games and stuff where I just want to see what my hammering skill compared to your hammering skill.
Yeah, it's probably on par, to be honest. I'm on the laptop, brother.
All right, do you reckon we can do one of those quickly?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we're fortunate enough to bring George. Famous George has been spoken about multiple times on the podcast. Oh, yeah.
I'm actually nervous.
We'll see how many hits it takes. There's usually they do the qualified and then they do the apprentices, and usually the qualified's in one go.
Yeah. Who's going first?
You go first.
Edit this to make it ready.
Is that good?
Oh.
Let George go first. See. What it kind of looks like.
I told ya. That's all right. He's better than me. I know that.
This looks like precision. Woohoo! I missed the nail.
Practice, warm up.
Just warm up. All right. One.
Keep going.
Oh, I missed it. Hold on.
How long we got? Yeah, baby.
My first hit was pretty good. Sammy, thank you for having me down and asking you all these questions. I really appreciate it, and George showing us how it's done. So yeah.
That's why he's on site and I'm behind the scenes.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks, Georgie. If you found value from this episode, be sure to follow along for the remainder of our 1330 series. And if you want to support this business, check out their details below.